Good morning, dear students, teachers, authorities from the participating schools and YouTube audience. Welcome back to our competencies. Today we will continue with our English Olympics Challenges competition. First, we would like to share the scoreboard with you, okay, with the results from yesterday. And as soon as we have them on the screen, I will give a little bit of a detail of the scoreboard. Okay. Okay, so we are awaiting for the results from yesterday. Okay, they are telling me that we are going to share them in a couple of seconds, okay? So, something important and necessary to let you know is that today we are starting with the vocabulary contest for B2. As we all know, the time difference and the sanitary restrictions in our countries didn't allow us to complete it yesterday. So this morning, we are going to start with this competency, and I'm so glad to introduce to you Ms. Lucia Perello from Educative Community Lux Mundi, who will be accompanying us today. Welcome, Lucia.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm very glad to be here.
I hope so. So let me indicate the beginning of the vocabulary contest for level B2 vocabulary, and then we can talk a little bit about yourself and your experience through these online classes.
Of course.
Okay, so if the teachers could let me know when the students are ready for the vocabulary competition from yesterday, we can set the timer for their competition. Something important that I also have to mention is that today the time limit for the participation in the contest is 7 minutes. Okay, we have made this adjustment for the students to get the opportunity to complete their tasks in time. So we are going to begin with vocabulary level B2 contest. Thank you. Okay, Lucia.
Yes.
Could you please share a little bit about yourself and your experience through these online classes?
Of course. I'm a teacher at Comunidad Educativa Lux Mundi. I'm a teacher at high school. Online classes has been a challenge for everybody, not only students, but also teachers. And also the fact that we don't know when it's going to end. So it's something that we're there like going on and going on without knowing when it's going to be like the end of it. Us teachers trying to make the best of it, not only for us, but also for our students, because we know it's something that they're struggling with. Most of them want to go back to school, and it's something that we can't control. But our experience has been of introducing a lot of technology to make the classes, you know, a little bit more interesting for them, more interactive. So that's basically a lot of training, getting to know different platforms and different tools to be able to make the classes more interactive for them. So I think it's been a challenge for all of us.
It's been a real challenge for students, teachers, and parents. Indeed, I can tell that. Okay, now I think that we are ready with the scoreboard. Okay. So if we can see them, very good. Okay, we have the record of medals from the different schools. We have, okay, Colegio Alauda has 3 gold medals, 4 A2, 1 copper, and 2 silver. And we also have another copper medal, 3 more of gold, and 2 silver medals. Okay, we can see and level B1 the results. If we could see this, the section for B1, excellent. Here we have, okay, we have in B1 Similar number of medals. Okay, we have 3, 2, and 1, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, this is kind of a tie or even. And now we have B2 results, okay, the scoreboard from yesterday. And here we have Colegio Reims has silver and couple medals. Very good. Now, on the screen, we can also see our students in the B2 contest. Tell me, Lucia, from yesterday, how did your students feel? Did they share any feeling or perception from their participation?
Yes, they felt, a little bit nervous of participating, but since we've been practicing, they were, ready for it. But even though they were ready, when you go into the competition, that it's different because you know that you're with other students there. They want to do their best, but it was a very good experience. Looking forward to see the results and what's going to happen in the other part of the competition that's coming up today and the rest of the week. But yes, very excited about participating with international schools.
Yes, I think this is a very nice opportunity for them. Okay, tell me please, Lucia, what could be some innovative ways in teaching that you have experienced in your community during this confinement?
As I said earlier, we've been introducing a lot of different online tools. For example, right now, the whole system of the technology of the school changed, like the platforms that we're using right now. We're working with everything that has to do with G Suite with Google. So we introduced that to the whole school. It was something that we normally used with high school only, but we introduced it to the whole school. In elementary, they normally the little ones use Class Dojo, and then from third grade we use Google Class. Well, everything that has to do with Google. But we have also introduced a lot of different online tools and platforms that have also been very useful, like Nearpod, Padlet, WordWall, which is the one that we're using a lot here in the competition. So there's a lot of online tools that have come very handy for this new, virtual situation. Adobe Spark to create videos. So there has been a lot of things. Flipgrid is a great tool also where they can record videos, especially for English, where they can record videos and practice their oral and vocal skills. So there's a lot, but the ones that I can think of like more fresh in my mind are those. There's one for G Suite that we also use a lot. That's Jamboard. We use a lot for vocabulary, to practice vocabulary. It's also been a very good one.
Okay, thank you. And okay, we are still awaiting for the results of B2. They have 3 minutes left. And the use of these online resources have enriched a lot our classes. And yesterday we were listening Andrea telling us about some of the advantages she has observed in her learning, since there has been a major use of technology in class. But I would like to hear an experienced teacher's opinion.
Of the technology in class?
Uh-huh.
Yes. I think for students it hasn't been so difficult because they're very used to technology. For teachers, it depends on how involved with technology teachers have been, like for the past years, because when it's not virtual, you use technology, but you don't depend on it as much as when it's virtual. So teachers have been have to be involved with technology even though they don't want to. So it's been impressive how teachers can manage, and how, even though maybe it's not your forte, but you manage on how to use technology in class. And even though we already have like a year or so working virtually, there's still a lot of platforms, a lot of devices, a lot of technology that we've been introducing. And also when teachers come to school to see the different devices that you use. We've also sometimes used different devices at the same time, different screens. So we also have to have like a lot of ability to manage all that. So it's been a challenge, but it's also a lot of enrichment, not only for students, but also for us teachers, because I believe that they are tools that when we are back to school, we can still use them. So it's not something that we're going to use virtually and that's it. I think they are tools that we can continue using. So we're going to go back to school with a lot of tools and devices that will make our classes even better. So I think it's going to be great. So I think there's a lot of good things that we can get out of this situation, and a lot of things that we've learned and tools that we can use from now on.
Okay. Yes, I definitely agree with you about the continuity in the use of these new resources that we have been implementing in our teaching. And we are just some seconds away from the students to finish their contest. So if I think that it will be very helpful to see the scores result. Okay, we are like about 10 seconds to finish. And okay, and okay, after we see the results of this contest, we are going to begin with the grammar competitions of the day. And the same as yesterday, we are going to start with group A2 in grammar. So, okay, time's up. If we could see the results. So, okay, we have the graphs from yesterday, the number of contestants. Okay, that is vocabulary B2, right? And it is okay. We have one result until now. Okay, the number of items to be evaluated. And we have from Alauda, Carlos, and he has a score of 2,202 with 13 correct answers. And we can recheck the chart to see if we can receive some other results. Remember that since we are in a live transmission, sometimes the internet is not helping us a lot with the readiness for the results, okay? Now, let's begin with the competition for grammar. Then we are going back on vocabulary after the grammar contest or through the students, while the students are in their contest, so we can give like an accurate result of the competition. So now we are going to start with the grammar competition for today with level A2, and we are going to set the timer for them to accomplish their task. And Lucia, we have been talking about all these new things we have been implementing in class. But there are some skills that teenagers can develop when participating in a contest. Which of these would you mention or would you think are like very important or noticeable?
Okay, skills that I think they can develop are patience, the ability to work under pressure, because even though you can practice a lot, when you're there in the competition at the moment, it's inevitable to feel, being anxious, feeling the pressure of it's happening. And since it's with a timer, you get some pressure. Well, but they need to develop that ability to work under pressure, and also the responsibility to prepare for the competition, because it's not just being here and performing, but you have to be able to practice to be here, and that takes time. And also the ability to work as a group with other peers, and also understand that maybe not always you're going to win, and that things can happen along the way, you know, not always you're going to do a good that you're going to have a good development. So it's going to depend, but I think there are a lot of skills that they can actually develop by being here, not only necessarily if you win or not, but a lot of skills that you can develop while participating, like peer relations. I think that's basically that.
Okay, thank you. Now, we are going to monitor a little bit how our students are doing in their competition. So here we are. Okay, we have 4 minutes and 35 seconds left. So I can see, I think that some of them are like, sometimes the internet, not the students, the internet doesn't allow us properly to see the cameras open. I can see now. Okay, and if we could see if we could check the chart with the results from B2, so we can make sure we have the final results of the previous competition. It'll be very helpful. Okay. Well, while we await for the results of B2, I would like you to tell us a little bit, from your point of view, how important is it for teenagers to learn a second language? In this case, English. Could you please tell us?
Yes, I wouldn't enclose it only to teenagers. I think students in general, maybe starting from elementary, younger, not only teenagers, it's very important because it opens a lot of doors for you in the future, not only in the future, but also in the present, because right now, not only knowing your native language, with knowing a second language and an important language, for example, like English or Spanish, if English is your native language, gives you a lot of opportunities, not only educational, but also professional opportunities in the future. So I think it's something, and also I think cognitively, it's something that students also, we've learned that knowing a second language enables a lot of cognitive abilities in students that helps them learn and develop more abilities in their daily routines and daily learning. So it's not only for other opportunities in educational and professional areas, but also to broaden their abilities, their cognitive abilities. Knowing a second language also develops your brain and your abilities in a very good way. So I think not only a second, but a third, any abilities that the students have or opportunities that they have to learn other languages is always a good idea. And
Exactly.
also the younger that they start learning, the better they're going to be at it. And it's something that we've also seen here at Lux Mundi. We prioritize both languages, the same. We try to not only give importance to Spanish or English, we try to equal it, that the students know that it's important to know both languages and give importance to both at the same time.
Okay, I can see. Okay, Lucia, we as teachers have witnessed the varied intentional inaccuracies that teenagers commit in grammar, writing, or speaking, with the argument of a changing language. And how have you guided them into the importance of demonstrating or keeping an interest in a good knowledge of it?
Okay, starting in elementary, we focus a lot in grammar and showing students that it's important, as you say, as you were saying when you asked, not only for writing, but at first they use it for writing, and then they will automatically apply it to their speaking. And we try to, when they go to high school, since we spent our whole elementary working on grammar, they already have like a very good hang of it. So we focus more on literature, writing, essays, you know, and all those type of things because they already have that background in grammar. So we oral, you know, and oral skills. So we focus at the beginning, and all those grammar abilities, they work a lot in grammar during elementary so that they can manage it very good. So that when they go to the writing part, it's not that we don't work with writing in elementary, we do, but in elementary, we focus more on grammar, as you said. So we try to explain to them the importance of grammar because, and we also focus a lot in speaking and pronunciation. And the base of that is to know the correct, you know, grammar skills and grammar rules so that they can apply them properly. So we focus on that since elementary base more than
Okay, so I can see from the very beginning of their education and learning process, it's better to focus in the grammar. No, it's easier.
Yeah.
I can tell you, teenagers or adults, young adults, are not so fan of learning
Grammar.
structures.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay, I can see we are checking some results from the contest, but let me see if it is from grammar A2. Yes. Okay, so we have from Colegio Lauda, Cristina, with 12 correct answers. And then we also from Colegio Lauda, we have Julia, nine correct answers. So congratulations, girls. And I think that this is a good moment to announce the beginning of the contest for B1. Okay, grammar B1. And we are going to wish them good luck in this contest. So we begin with the timer for B1. Okay. And Lucia, tell us a little bit about your students' experience in the preparation for the contest.
Of course. At first when we mentioned the contest, they were like an international contest, and all of them were like so nervous. Oh, I don't want to participate, and they were like scared. And then when we explained how it was gonna happen and we practiced, I said everybody's gonna practice, and as we start practicing, that you see how it's gonna be, then I know that you guys are gonna get engaged and that you're gonna be motivated. So that when we started practicing, it was actually like that. They loved the activities. They were very engaged between themselves. They were like, can we try it again? I want to see if I can do better. So they were very motivated. So we did the same process to see who had the best scores. So we chose the students that were going to be in the competition. Since we have the difference, you know, between the grades, that the grades are organized a little bit different. The good thing is that we focused it by level, so it was great. So that way we could have students from each level so that everybody felt that they had the opportunity. I think that was a great idea. So we did it like that by levels. We chose the students. They were also surprised that, wow, a 7th grader with a 10th grader. So that motivated them a lot. So in the same level. And then after we chose them, then we divided them by levels, and everybody started practicing the different activities with their peers and other students from the school. So it also gave us the opportunity and gave them the opportunity to interact between themselves with maybe other students from other grades. Well, everything virtual, but they were able to see other faces and practice with other students. And it was a great experience. When we told them who was going to go to the competition, they were so excited. And I think it's been a very good experience.
Also, here in the school, they have been very excited about the contest. And at the very beginning, they were like unsure, like with their expectancies not very clear. But we have had very good responses from them in the participation. Okay, let's see. Okay, we are monitoring a little bit the time for the B1 competition. Okay, now something important for the students' participation is that remember, boys and girls that are participating, and also teachers, you have to be responding your contest individually, okay? We understand that there are some nervousness, but we need to control and we need to respond our activities individually, okay? Now, we have talked about our students being interested and excited in this participation, but there's always the experience of time pressure with teenagers. And we as adults have already gained some manners or ways to control our nervousness. What can you tell me about your students? How have they reacted?
No, they've been nervous because it's a competition, and even though they've practiced and even though we tell them you get nervous at the moment, but we try to tell them and try to give them strategies to calm themselves while they're participating to maybe help them. I think the fact that it's online helps them a little bit in that case, because since they are not actually there with the other people, but they're virtual, that maybe I think that helps them a little bit to be more calm. And I just tell them, try to do the best you can. Forget about the timer. Just try to do the best you can as fast as you can. Just imagine that you're just practicing. And we try to tell them and explain and give them strategies. I think the fact that the more you practice, the better prepared they're going to be when they come to the competition and the less anxious. So since you practice a lot, it's exercises that they've seen before. Even though you do get nervous at the moment, but if it's something that you've been practicing, I think that helps them. But it's something that we can avoid. I think in the moment of the competition, everybody gets a little bit anxious, not only the students, but also us teachers, that everything comes out good, that we don't have any inconveniences. So I think it's just trying to give them security so that they, at the moment, try to do their best and the best performance.
Okay, thank you. Now, I think we are having some signal issues. We are going to give them a couple of seconds to see how we can continue with this. But talking about technology, and that we have enjoyed a lot the including of technology in class. Okay, which of these do you find the most enjoyable for you as a teacher and for your students? Because sometimes they enjoy the resource we are using for the class, but we are having like a very interesting time when using it. Can you tell us?
Yes, of course. For us in high school, we use a lot of technology, not as much as now, but we do because our book is online. So students are used to, at least if for English class, working online and using technology. But from everything that we've been using now that we're virtual, I think I have two favorites. One is Flipgrid. I love Flipgrid because even though at the beginning students were struggling to use it because they had to speak, and sometimes that's not like their favorite part, to speak, they struggle a little bit to speak. But I told them, look, you're not going to speak in front of anybody. It's just a Flipgrid video that you're going to record yourself. And they loved it because in Flipgrid, they had the chance to cover their face and speak. So it gave them they felt a little bit more comfortable with that. So, and they created awesome videos in Flipgrid. I gave them different topics and different things to elaborate on. And they created awesome videos, even though at the beginning they were a little bit skeptical about it. But that's why it's one of my favorite, because even though at the beginning they weren't that convinced, but then they created awesome videos on it. So Flipgrid would be one of them, and I think Nearpod would be the other one because it includes a lot of tools. So it's a tool that you work and you prepare, but it gives you games inside. It's very interactive. So you can teach a lesson with Nearpod, and also they can go ahead and do games and do practice whatever lesson you're teaching. You can include videos. So and you can find Nearpods about almost everything. So I think it's a very handy tool that I, as a teacher, have used a lot.
Okay, thank you. Now, we can see we are 4 minutes away from the contest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are going to give them a little bit of time to see if they can reach their results. Okay, and okay. We are going to give them a little bit more of time. And I can see we have been through a difference in our teaching method. No, I can tell you from my experience that I have been through several changes in methodologies. Um, but can you please tell us some positive differences that you have observed between the traditional teaching of a second language and the new technological approach?
Okay, I think positive differences, there's a lot we could mention. Well, always you have, pros and cons about everything, but I think that positive things, as I mentioned before, when using technology, we can mention the fact that the technology, itself, it's something that like I said, we used to have technology in our English classes because our books are online. And even though we continue using them, well, we now teach maybe the same topics. For example, if you are always teaching ninth grade, you continue teaching the same topics throughout the years, but you teach it differently because you teach it according to the students' needs, introducing different technology. And I think that just the fact that we use technology is very appealing for students because teenagers now love technology and everything that has to do with it. So I think it's something very positive for them because anything that has to do with technology and devices catches their attention. So I think that's something that's been very positive. Even though they are tired of being in front of a screen, when you change and use different tools and use different technology and different platforms, I think that maybe like recharges them. Even every time you use something different, it recharges them and maybe pushes their motivation a little bit. There's a tool that they like a lot, and it's quizzes and those that they do like competitions and have to answer, and they answer quickly, and then something similar to Wordwall, Kahoot. They love Kahoot. So if you introduce lessons with these type of tools, for example, my students that's something that has always motivated them. So I think that something positive is that you can teach the same topic in so many different ways with all the different technology and tools that we have now. For example, the interactive whiteboards and all that. I think that's something that you can teach the same thing in a different way, and you just get them motivated again. So I think that's something positive that the technology has brought, and it's something that, as I said earlier, you can continue using even though we go back to school. So we can go back to school, and it's not something that we're not going to use technology anymore. We can continue using it inside the classroom. So I think those are the positive differences and changes that we can continue having even though we go back to school. It's something that it's something new we have, but that we can stay with it and keep it.
And I think that this also complements properly, like the way we are always looking for an attractive way to include all types of learning styles, okay, like auditive, visual, kinesthetic. And with these technologies, we can approach most of them most of the time, and we can keep them motivated. Okay, let's see. We're about to finish this contest. And I'm not sure about you, but I just want to know the results.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we have the score. Okay. Okay, these are the results for Okay, grammar B1. Here we have 2 participants. the items, the graphs, the items that were evaluated. And here we are. Okay, we have from Colegio Lauda, we have Clara with 13 correct answers, and there was a contestant without ID number. Remember, it is important to log in the contest with the nomenclature we mentioned from yesterday. Okay, so these are our results up to the moment for Grammar B1. Okay, we have Clara with 2,509 points, and then we need to check the name for the second participant, or we need to discuss and conclude what is going to happen in this situation. Okay, I think that not only the people or the audience that are in front of the monitors, but our contestants get nervous. This
Yeah.
things happen. Okay, I think this is a good moment to continue with the contest for B2 in grammar. And we are going to set the timer as soon as we are noticed that we can begin with the competition for B2. We can continue with our conversation. I hope that you're enjoying this conversation. I'm having a very nice time. And so I think that we are ready for B2. Okay, let me see. Okay. So let's give the chance to our participants to do their challenge for B2. And okay, Lucia, from your point of view, is hybrid learning good? And why?
Okay, hybrid learning, that's what you asked, right?
Exactly.
Okay, actually here at Lux Mundi, we haven't experienced hybrid learning because we are still 100% virtual. But the school has been ready for hybrid learning since a very long time. The thing is that students are still not allowed. But I do believe it's, if I were to compare between virtual and hybrid, I think hybrid would be a lot better because students I think it would get them more motivated because they would have the chance to have two different scenarios. So what the idea that I believe how it would work is they would be 2 or 3 days a week at school and then the other days at home, so that maybe that change from scenarios would motivate them a lot. And I think it's a change, and also not to make a so drastic change than from going from being 100% at home then 100% back, so I think it would be like a very good transition. And I think even though we haven't experienced it yet, I think it's something very positive for everybody because the change of scenarios after being for so long at home, everything online, I think it's somebody that students need, and that it would be very beneficial because even though teachers all around the world have done so much to keep students motivated, to give them different tools, it's not the same when you are, physically at school. So that physical contact with teachers, with other students is something that everybody needs, not only for cognitive abilities, but also social abilities and, and for their mental health, just to see different scenarios, see different things. And they see that everything else in the world is going on and going back to normal. So I think it's something that students already want, that hybrid, that is something that would be very beneficial for them.
Okay, thank you. Yes, here in Mexico, we are still in virtual classes, not hybrid, but
yeah, I was going to ask you that if you had the opportunity to be hybrid.
Yes, and we'll see. We are ready, and let's see what happens. I can see the timer is like 4 minutes left for the B2 contest to be finished. And I would like to retake the results from B1 vocabulary from yesterday that we are still missing.
Waiting.
Check the chart with the scores for vocabulary B2 from yesterday. That will be very helpful so we could be a little bit more excited about the results that are coming. So if we could see the chart for vocabulary B2 with the results, that would be helpful. Oh, and time flies. They already have 3 minutes, almost 15 seconds left for this contest.
And this will be a last contest for today, right, Claudia?
Exactly.
B2 would be the last one for grammar.
Exactly. This is the last contest for today, the last challenge. Tomorrow we are not having any challenge, but on Thursday we will continue with, from my point of view, the most expected competency, because
me too.
I really love speaking. And why is it that you are willing for that competency to come?
Yeah, because it's not the same, and I know that students will be more anxious, because actually when we were gonna choosing the students for speaking, at first they didn't want to participate in the practice because they were all speaking. As I told you, at first they're scared of speaking in public, But I think that in speaking you have to integrate all skills: spelling, grammar, vocabulary. So it's something that's why I'm looking forward for it.
Okay, so let's see. We are 2 minutes away from the results. Now, so the scores for the vocabulary B2, can we check them? I think we are waiting for them to get the results. And we are getting close to the final results of today. And okay, we have had a very positive results from our students' interest in participating. And how can we keep this interest? How can we keep the interest of our students into participating in contests?
I think that maybe showing other students the results of the competition, maybe the students that participated speak to other students about their experience, how they felt, and maybe getting the competition, getting it out there, showing other students what happened, what was the whole process. But I think the best part is the students who participated to speak about their experience and try to motivate other students to participate in other coming up competitions. And also the ability to be able to, and the opportunity to be able to participate with other students from other schools is very enriching. So I think it's something that they can speak about and motivate other students to participate in the future.
Okay, yes, that's something that we could always do to keep them interested. And 18 seconds.
Countdown.
To see the results. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, before I tell you about the results, let me share with you that I have definitely enjoyed your company today. And I hope that this has been a nice experience for you, that you are interested in continuing with this interaction. And
of course.
Okay, let's see, the time has finished. So if we could see, okay, we are having the results processed. So let's see. And let's remind our audience that on Thursday we have the speaking competition, my favorite, if I can tell.
Yes.
And on Friday we have our final competition, that is sports. Since this is an Olympic challenge, we have to include Olympic things like sports with our students. And that is a way to include all aspects of our students' educative learning. Okay, remember this is going to be on May 6th at the same time, and we hope that you have enjoyed the contest. Here we have the results. Okay, from Colegio Reims, we have Mauricio with 14 correct answers, bravo, and Clara from Colegio Lauda with 2,509 points in the score. Once again, we have this not identified student.
No name.
So this would be the results. for the grammar B2. So, Lucia, I really appreciate your conversation and your presence here in the contest today. Okay, that was grammar B1. So we need B2. Is there something that you would like to tell us before we finish today's contest?
No, just thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. I really enjoyed speaking to you, Miss Claudia, and I'm glad that to be part of this. Can't wait for the other days coming up, speaking and sports. And I hope students are also enjoying and having a great time.
I hope so too. Okay, let me see. Here we have from Lux Mundi, 14 marks. I grab 14. That's nice. Jose Antonio from Alauda, 13. And then we have Maria from Colegio Lauda, 13 marks again. And, okay, Colegio Reims is with 12 marks in the score. So the first three places are Sara from Lux Mundi, okay, Jose Ignacio from Alauda, and Maria from Alauda. So thank you, boys and girls. Congratulations for your participation. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on Thursday. Okay?
See you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.